Buckle up, animal lovers. Judge Judy's courtroom is about to become a battleground for pet owners. First up, a catastrophic encounter that ends in tragedy. Was it a vicious attack or an unfortunate accident? Prepare for fur to fly as Judge Judy sinks her teeth into this case and determines who's truly at fault.
You're suing the defendant for what you claim was an attack by her dogs on your cat.
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant has a counterclaim. She said that she was scratched and attacked by your cat during this melee.
Yes.
You decided to keep that cat in such a way that the cat could go in and out on their own accord.
An indoor-outdoor cat? That's a recipe for disaster waiting to happen. Judge Judy's already zeroing in on the cat owner's responsibility. But with both the cat and dog owner claiming injuries, who's truly at fault in this furry fiasco?
If you were outside in the porch, the cat may come and sit with you, but the cat went elsewhere.
But he stayed on my property.
You don't know that he stayed on your property if you weren't watching him all the time. You let him go. How old was the cat?
12.
And the cat had always been an indoor-outdoor cat?
Always.
Were you outside with your cat on July 21st, 2017?
I was on my deck.
Judge Judy's grilling the cat owner like a seasoned detective. She's making it clear that letting a cat roam free comes with risks. But what exactly happened on that fateful day?
Then I heard a screaming help, and I ran out on the driveway, and we see the defendant standing with a dog, holding it on a leash, and my cat in the dog's mouth. I am afraid of dogs. The cat was flailing, and I just was too terrified to do anything. Fortunately, my neighbor's son, Joe Kitterman, was visiting his parents, and he heard, and he came running.
A terrifying scene unfolds as a beloved cat becomes the victim of a dog attack. Ms. Puek's fear is understandable, but her inaction raises questions about her responsibility as a pet owner. Was she negligent in protecting her feline friend? Let's hear what the heroic neighbor Joe Kitterman has to say.
I observed Barbara with her dog Lucy in the driveway, and everyone was motionless and just standing there except for the cat. And I stood over the dog, I straddled the dog. I wanted to be in a position of authority and dominance of the dog, and I pushed where its jaw goes into the skull, but I pushed harder and harder and harder until the dog finally released the cat.
It's pretty brave.
I was in a good
adrenaline.
position.
It was
I like animals. I'm not afraid of dogs.
Talk about a hero. This neighbor didn't hesitate to jump into action and save the cat. But was the dog truly the aggressor, or was this a territorial dispute gone wrong? The details of this fateful encounter are crucial in determining who's ultimately responsible for the cat's injuries. Let's hear from Barbara now.
It was about 8 o'clock at night. We walked by the plaintiff's house. It's a hilly area, narrow roads, no sidewalk, and she has a very steep driveway. Cat's under the car in the driveway, and it's so steep you can see the cat. It's easy to see the cat. I didn't think anything of it. Walk by. Gloria's behind me with Artie, and I hear Artie go, "Yep." I turn around, and the cat that was under the car is now right here. Lucy pounces on the cat, and I get flipped over. I fall down, and I clip the driveway because it's so steep, and so I sort of roll down.
This case just took a nosedive for the cat owner. Miss Gloria's testimony flips the script, suggesting the cat was the aggressor. Now we've got a he said, she said situation with both sides claiming their pet was provoked. Who's telling the truth?
The cat was on Lucy. Is that what you're saying?
The cat was about to attack Lucy, and then Lucy reacted and went for the cat.
Well, about to is a pretty
Well,
subjective. It's pretty
so
subjective.
my witness was behind. She saw.
About to attack is a slippery slope in Judge Judy's court. She's not interested in speculation, only facts. Miss Gloria is calling in her witness to back up her story. Will this second perspective shed light on the cat's behavior or simply muddy the waters further?
I saw the cat coming out aggressively and going after Lucy. And that's when Lucy turned around and,
Grab the cat.
yes.
Certainly the cat at that time was not under your control. It's an outside cat.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what happens with indoor-outdoor cats, you know.
Judge Judy's laying down the law of the jungle. Outdoor cats are vulnerable. She's not letting the cat owner off the hook for the risks of letting her pet roam free. But did the dog owner have any responsibility to control her pup? The blame game continues.
The fault of the person who was responsible for that animal, which would be the owner.
My opinion is that you cause stress to the cat if you keep it inside all the time.
There's a certain assumption of risk that you have.
Absolutely.
If you choose to get a cat that's not an indoor cat.
Look at Joe, getting all philosophical about cat ownership. Judge Judy must be in a good mood today because she's letting him have his say.
The cat was outside, and the dog didn't go under the car to get the cat.
It occurred on the driveway,
The
though.
cat came out. So I have to make a judgment as to whose fault it is that the cat had to be euthanized.
Oh snap! Judge Judy's not here for opinions, especially from a witness. Poor Joe trying to be helpful, but Judy's cutting him off. It's clear she's made up her mind and the cat owner isn't going to like it. Will she accept responsibility for the consequences of letting her cat roam free?
It's your fault that your cat died, not her fault. I've dealt with that. Now what I'm going to deal with is whether you are responsible for her being injured. First, let me see you have a hospital record or a medical record?
I do. I have the medical record and the hospital record. In our county, if there's a cat or dog bite, you have to report it to the Humane Society, and we did that at the hospital.
Judge Judy's shifting the blame, and now it's the cat owner who could be on the hook for damages. The dog owner claims she was injured in the chaos, and she's got the paperwork to prove it.
So your insurance covered your medical bills, is that right?
Except for $287.18.
The patient appears with multiple cat scratches and a dog bite from her own dog, which was vaccinated on the right index finger without apparent bone, joint, tendon, or nerve involvement. There is high risk of infection, not from her dog, but from the cat.
Cat scratches can cause serious infections, and Judge Judy's acknowledging the potential danger the dog owner faced. Could this lead to a surprising twist in the case, with the cat owner ending up on the hook for damages?
Plaintiff's claim is dismissed. On the counterclaim, I'm awarding the defendant $1,000 for both her medical bills and pain and suffering as a result of the cat scratches. We're done. Thank you.
The cat owner not only loses her case, but is also ordered to pay for the injuries caused by her feline friend. It's a harsh reminder that with pet ownership comes responsibility, and sometimes that means paying the price for their actions. But here's the question. Do you agree with Judge Judy's ruling? Was it fair to hold the cat owner solely responsible for the events that unfolded, even though the dog was involved? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Get ready for a doggone dramatic showdown. In this next case, a neighborhood walk turns into a canine catastrophe when two dogs clash. Accusations of unleashed aggression and hefty vet bills have these neighbors at each other's throats.
Mr. and Mrs. Jablon, that's your dog.
Yes.
And it is your claim that the defendant's dogs attacked yours. On what date?
October 2nd, 2016.
Your defense is it wasn't your dogs.
Yes, they were my dogs.
Why didn't you take care of the vet bills?
Because, Your Honor, I don't believe that my dogs attacked his dog.
The defendant admits the dogs are his, but denies they attacked. That's a classic Judge Judy head scratcher. If they're your dogs and they caused the damage, isn't it your responsibility? Something doesn't add up here, and Judge Judy's about to dig deeper.
She saw dogs that were running loose, and you subsequently turned around and saw the same two dogs going back to your house. Is that what happened?
That's correct.
And if my memory is correct, you took a photograph of them?
My husband did.
You did?
Yes, ma'am, but it was the retriever mix that did the damage. This one was just with it.
Caught red-pawed. The plaintiffs have a photo of the alleged attacker returning to the scene of the crime. This evidence could seal the deal, but will it be enough to convince Judge Judy?
6:30 in the evening.
Where were you at 6:30 on the 2nd of October?
I wasn't home, Your Honor,
You were not home, so you don't know where your dog was.
but my mother and my daughter were there.
Fine, let's
Your
talk to daughter. Your first name is?
Cassandra?
Sounds like someone's trying to pass the buck. It's not looking good for the dog owner when he can't even vouch for his own pets. But will his daughter's testimony save him? Or will it just dig a deeper hole? Judge Judy's about to put her in the hot seat.
You were home on October 2nd?
Yes.
What were you doing at 6:30 in the evening?
I was in my room listening to music.
So you were unaware,
I was unaware because I had my speaker on and I didn't really hear any sound.
and this is the dog that attacked your dog.
That's correct.
A daughter oblivious to a dog attack right outside her window? It's hard to believe her testimony, and Judge Judy's skepticism is radiating through the courtroom. Is this a case of selective hearing or a desperate attempt to protect her dad?
I want you to listen to me very carefully, Mr. Pelos and Cassandra. $900 is a lot of money, but it's not going to break them, and life goes on for them. They want the people who are responsible for the dog being out to be responsible and pay for the vet bill. That's what they want.
Judge Judy's driving home the point that responsible pet ownership isn't just about love and cuddles. It's about accountability. The Jablons are clearly responsible pet owners, taking full responsibility for their bull terrier's medical care. Will this stark contrast in responsibility influence Judge Judy's final decision?
Dogs don't look like this unless they're not fed.
Your Honor.
What?
My mother was home. She told me that
I don't care what your mother told you. Listen to me. We're done already with whether or not your dog attacked theirs. I find that your dog attacked theirs. I want to know is, why didn't you pay them the vet bill?
Because I didn't believe that my dog...
Okay, that's the answer.
Judge Judy's sharp eye noticed something else. The dog's alarmingly thin appearance. Is this another sign of neglect? It's not just about the attack anymore, it's about the overall care of these animals. This case is taking a turn towards animal welfare, and the dog owner is scrambling for excuses.
But I spoke to the daughter. She was very against that. I said, I'm sorry. And then she told me, I said, why did your dog look like that? And she said that the one dog, the bull terrier, would steal the food of the other dog. He called her father. I told him about the vet bill. He said, they're not my dogs. They're my ex-wife's dog who lives in Las Vegas.
Blaming the ex-wife for the dog's condition? That's a desperate move. It seems like the Palos family is willing to point fingers at anyone but themselves. Judge Judy's heard enough excuses and is ready to deliver her verdict.
I get it, okay? I get it. He's irresponsible.
Yes, ma'am.
He's irresponsible. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. We're done here. The rest of the money is for your aggravation because you should have paid it a year ago. We're done.
It's a win for the Jablons, who not only get their vet bill covered but also a little extra for their trouble. The Palos family's excuses and evasions ultimately couldn't mask their irresponsibility. This case highlights the importance of owning up to your pet's actions, no matter how inconvenient or costly. Our next case has all the makings of a classic pet owner showdown. A professional dog sitter, a bite, and a hefty vet bill. But who's truly at fault when a furry friend turns on their caretaker? Is it a case of negligence or an occupational hazard? Let's find out as Judge Judy sinks her teeth into this canine conundrum.
You're in the business of pet sitting.
Correct.
How long have you been in the pet sitting business?
I started with Rover May of last year.
How much do you get paid?
$60 for boarding and $30 for day stay for daycare.
And how many animals have you had in your care, would you say, since May of last year?
35.
35 animals? This isn't just a hobby, this is a business. Judge Judy's establishing the plaintiff's professional status right off the bat. But does being a professional pet sitter automatically absolve you of responsibility when things go wrong?
In your professional capacity, you were taking care of 2 of the defendant's dogs overnight. On what date?
On November 28th.
And she picked up the dogs on the 29th.
On the 29th.
And then on the 29th, one of her dogs bit you.
Yes.
So the defendant's response is that it was really your fault because of some hand motion that you did that frightened the dog.
A classic blame game. The dog owner is quick to point fingers at the pet sitter, claiming her actions spooked the dog. But is that the whole story? Judge Judy's skepticism is palpable. We're about to find out whose version of events holds water.
If you bring a dog to a vet and you leave your dog at the vet to be treated, and the dog bites a veterinary assistant, you think the owner is responsible? Just because someone's dog bites you doesn't mean that they're responsible.
Judge Judy's analogies are sharp as a tack. She's making a clear distinction between professionals and pet owners. Is she hinting that pet sitters, like vets and groomers, are expected to handle the unexpected? This could be a wake-up call for Miss Marinon.
It's just like you're babysitting. You're in charge of it. You do it for a for-profit basis, and you're supposed to be smart enough not to put yourself in situations where that happens.
Judge Judy's making it clear that pet sitters, like babysitters, are responsible for the animals in their care. But did the pet sitter truly act negligently, or was this just an unfortunate accident?
How long you and Miss Binkley had known each other from the dog park?
I met her probably a couple years ago.
So you know these dogs for 3 years.
At the park.
Either of her dogs ever aggressive to you?
No.
Did you ever see her dogs being aggressive with anyone else at the park?
I've never seen them around anyone else.
Judge Judy is focused on the dog's behavior, not the pet sitter's social life. But wait, 3 years of peaceful park encounters? This raises even more questions about the sudden aggression.
You're a professional. You asked her what medications the dog takes. One takes seizure medication. One takes anxiety medication. That's the dog that bit you.
Correct.
The next question a normal person would ask is, what's the nature of the dog's anxiety?
Judge Judy's got a point. A professional pet sitter should know better than to ignore a dog's anxiety medication. It seems like the owner was upfront about the dog's issues, leaving the pet sitter responsible for asking the right questions. This case isn't looking good for the plaintiff.
What other questions did you ask her other than the medication?
I asked her for socialization and
No, not for socialization.
No, he's social, but aggression.
You're going to a place where I don't believe you. Because somebody that knows the dogs for 3 years, who's in the dog business, who's been with her in the dog park, would not say to her, I want to know if the dog's aggressive.
Judge Judy's losing her patience with the pet sitter's excuses. It's clear she believes the pet sitter should have been more diligent in her questioning. This could be a major blow to the plaintiff's case. Is she about to learn a hard lesson about professional responsibility?
She swooped. It was very fast, and I felt the dog was, I don't know where the anger or the aggression came from, but I'm not the only person this dog has bit. I know this dog bit before, and the dog bit after. Unfair.
I don't know that until you prove it.
This just got interesting. The pet sitter claims the dog's a repeat biter, but Judge Judy's not having it. Without proof, it's just hearsay. Is this a last-ditch effort to shift blame, or does the dog have a history of aggression?
No.
She says the dog has not bitten anyone, but I don't believe that.
Nope. Miss Marion, you have no case. The dog was under your control. The dog bit you, like fighting a vet. If the vet were able to sue people who were the owners of animals that nipped them while they were doing an exam, nobody would bring their dog to the vet.
Well, that was more than a nip.
We're done.
Case dismissed. The pet sitter's claims fall flat as Judge Judy emphasizes her professional responsibility and the inherent risks of the job. Ouch, that's gotta sting. Next up, get ready for a case that's sure to leave you scratching your head. This time, Judge Judy's tackling a dispute between a pug lover and a breeder over a defective puppy. Will a medical condition cost the breeder a pretty penny, or is the buyer barking up the wrong tree? Let's see who Judge Judy puts in the doghouse.
Miss Strasser had a litter of, and I don't know how often
3 litters a year, Your Honor.
So you are a registered breeder of pug puppies?
I am with the AKC, yes.
AKC.
My litters are.
And you wanted a pug puppy. You purchased a pug puppy from her on what date?
March 12th, 2016.
Okay,
What
but
they've
there
had.
was no contract?
No,
Okay, how much was the puppy?
$1,250.
No contract, no problem? Or is there? Buying a purebred puppy without a written agreement is like playing with fire. But did the breeder hide anything about the puppy's health?
Puppy had had its first shot?
Yes, he had.
When was the next time you took the puppy to the vet?
I believe it was on March 18th.
And that was a wellness check. That's a
Yes.
smart thing to do.
Right.
What's next?
5 months later, I emailed,
Don't tell me what you emailed. 5 months later, you took the dog to the vet.
well, first I emailed Ms. Strasser.
About what?
I wanted a female pug. Toby was a male.
Why did you want a female?
He needed a friend, and I considered breeding.
Hold on, a puppy playdate turned breeding scheme? This takes an unexpected twist. But did the buyer truly consider the responsibilities of breeding? Judge Judy's skepticism is growing, and it seems like the buyer's motives are being questioned.
What's next?
Then Toby ate a Reese's peanut butter cup.
He ate chocolate.
Yes.
And you were concerned, so you took him to the vet.
Yes, and they said, you know, he is cryptorchid. And I said, I don't know what that is. So they informed me that one of his testicles was...
I'm letting you tell me this story, even though it's hearsay, because I assume someplace it's in the medical
Yes.
record. So they said to you that he has one testicle?
A missing testicle? This case just took a wild turn. Poor Toby. First chocolate poisoning, now this. But did the breeder know about this condition? Seems like the plaintiff is hiding something. The courtroom drama is heating up.
The dog neutered 5 months before.
Well, he was only 10 weeks old 5 months before.
At what age can you have a puppy neutered?
They say at 4 to 5 months.
Okay, so you were a little late in the neutering process.
I wanted to breed him.
Well, that's ridiculous. This is the first time you've had a dog.
Talk about putting the cart before the horse. This dog owner wanted to breed a puppy before even figuring out the basics of responsible pet care. Judge Judy's not having any of this inexperienced breeder's excuses. Breeding isn't a game, folks, it's a serious responsibility.
So now you take the puppy to the vet and you have the puppy neutered, right? And it's this time it's surgery, a little bit older. Puppy is about 8 months old now.
So
And you called her and said, I want part of my money back.
Yes.
Okay, and she said, I'm not giving you your money back.
She texted me that she would give me my money back.
Oh, she would?
Yes.
The breeder claims she offered a refund, but the buyer insists she refused. Who's telling the truth here? Will those text messages reveal a hidden agreement or just fuel the fire?
Full refund, and then
Just a second, a full refund and bring the puppy back.
bring the puppy back. So
I just want to see your email where you offered her a full refund. Why did you contact the Attorney General?
The AKC website, I called them and they recommended that I file a
That's
complaint.
ridiculous.
Judge Judy's grilling the buyer like a well-done steak. She's exposing the buyer's naivety and lack of experience with dogs. It's clear that the buyer had unrealistic expectations, but is that enough to absolve the breeder of all responsibility?
What are you doing here? Do you have nothing else in your life? The puppy should have been neutered because you don't know anything about dog breeding. You had the dog neutered. They said, you know what, one of the testicles did not come down.
This is a dog owner, not a professional breeder. Shouldn't she be focusing on enjoying her new furry friend instead of getting caught up in breeding schemes? It seems like Judge Judy's trying to bring some common sense back into the courtroom.
But she said, I'm giving you back your money. Bring me back the dog. What am I not following with that?
She wanted the dog back.
That's absolutely right. And then you can go and buy another dog from another breeder that you're happier with.
I was
But so
very
what
happy
you
with this
wanted,
dog.
so what you wanted was you wanted money back and the dog.
Yes.
Talk about having your cake and eating it too. The buyer wants a refund and to keep the dog. Judge Judy's laughter says it all. This is a classic case of wanting it both ways, and it's not going to fly in her courtroom.
Ms. Kaiser, you don't get any money.
Okay.
Unless you want to return the pug to Ms. Strasser.
No, I just...
Okay, fine, because she offered you that. Going to have all your money back and you give her back Toby.
Okay.
What's your pleasure?
I'll keep the dog.
Great. That's what you should have done in the beginning, not cut yourself all your panties in a twist.
A full refund on the table, but she'd rather keep the pug? The love for Toby clearly outweighs the desire for a refund. It seems like this buyer's bark was worse than her bite. But wait, there's more drama to come. The breeder has a countersuit against this pug-loving plaintiff.
Why did you file a restraining order against her, Ms. Strasser?
She kept filing more and more papers. I had to respond to all of this. People coming to my property claiming they were lost.
I'm not believing that, Ms. Strasser.
Restraining order? This feud is getting out of hand. But Judge Judy's not buying the breeder's excuse. Did she really feel threatened by complaints, or was this a power move to silence the buyer? The breeder's credibility is taking a hit.
That's a giant leap, and you know it. And that's why they threw out your restraining order application, right?
I didn't have pictures.
The reason you had no case is because you filed it because she was driving you crazy with filing complaints with the Attorney General that you had to respond to. The case is dismissed. So your counterclaim. We're done.
Judge Judy delivers a double whammy case dismissed for both sides. She sees through the pettiness of this dispute, recognizing the restraining order as a retaliatory move. It's a reminder that escalation rarely leads to resolution. And that wraps up another wild ride in Judge Judy's courtroom. From pet altercations to neighborhood disputes, Judge Judy always gets to the bottom of the drama. What's your take on these rulings? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the show, give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more explosive episodes, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the action. See you next time.